Welcome to Sweetheart Survivals. I'm Charlotte.
I'm Justin.
What are we going to talk about today?
Today we're going to actually do a quick video in response to Thru Reviews video blog number 42, Women in Games.
Yeah, Jour said he encourages women to talk about this topic. And I thought, well, I'm a lady and I can talk about this topic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm not, but I can be here for support.
Right. So, what were some of the points that were being brought up there in the video?
Joel talked about two things. The first thing he talked about was the portrayal of women in board games.
Right.
Yeah. And he actually went through his list of 100 top games or top 100 games, and just kind of pointed out a couple that jumped out at him as either not portraying women either well or at all. And some of them that seem to do a good job of portraying women in the game.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the ones that seem to portray women in a better light and have more women in more kind of demographics were the newer games. And people are becoming more and more aware of this issue now.
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to kind of correct it and make the game seem not more women friendly, but realizing, hey, there's ladies out there that want to play games.
Yeah.
And they're half the demographic, so why are we ignoring them? So they're being portrayed in a better light more often now.
Yep.
But as a lady that played games in the past as well, I don't think I gave too much thought about it, really. I mean, there would be certain games that maybe portrayed women, oh, the bar wench, and oh, those kind of more derogatory or scantily clad women. And
yeah,
I mean, if I was offended, I just didn't play those games.
That works.
But it's kind of that's the way it was. And if you want to play those games,
maybe you don't have to play those games with me.
Yeah, you either deal with it or you don't, kind of thing. We really didn't have a lot of choices way back in the Yonder.
Sure. Except the choice of just not playing that game.
Right. Or if you wanted to play it, then play it and don't worry about it. Yeah, this is the way it is. Deal with it.
Okay.
I don't know. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
But I know there's ladies out there that would feel a lot differently than that. Mm-hmm. But it didn't overly bother me too much.
Okay. Just looking, kind of glancing at the games on our wall and thinking about it, I noticed that there are some games of ours that are our favorite games that maybe traditionally would have been looked at as girl games, the theme of Rococo, where you're making fancy dresses. But you're making fancy dresses for ladies and men.
And boys, yeah.
And it might not be the most exciting theme, but the game works so well that I get right into it. Mm-hmm. I don't care that I'm making fancy dress. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't make me feel like this is a woman's job or anything silly like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But there could be a fancy dressmaking game geared more for the women stereotype, even if the mechanics were great and awesome like Rococo.
Okay. Because
the theme was so girlified with princesses and whatever. I bet boys wouldn't want to play it at all.
Possibly. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Because it is about making dresses, but there's a lot of the masters and the apprentices, now that I'm thinking about it.
They're all boys.
They're all men.
They're all tailors. They're not seamstresses.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Just because you're making dresses doesn't mean it's a girl game.
True. Mm-hmm. It's true. Mm. I guess kind of what I'm looking at is if you're making a historically accurate game, you're gonna need to dig deeper to find historically accurate games where the women have more importance or come forward in the games. So it might be easier to find that equality in gender roles
theme.
in either modern or even like going like sci-fi or fantasy and stuff like that. Like if you made a game based off of Star Trek where men and women are
equals, yeah,
like something like that.
It's true.
Yeah.
And you mentioned fantasy. There's a lot of talk going on about fantasy, about how the girls are always pretty much naked, and they're really like
scantily
portrayed
clad
in a certain manner. And yeah, that is fantasy, and it's probably because, I don't know, a lot of men probably write and draw the fantasy, and this is their fantasy. That's why it's called a fantasy. But you could equal it out. There's no reason in the world why the men can't be half naked and be all buff, abs showing, and, you know, give the ladies some eye candy too.
There you go.
Maybe.
Yep.
Some women might take offense to that, and I'm sorry. Some men might take offense to that, and I'm sorry, but I have eyeballs too.
So, opportunities in board games, especially in fantasy and modern and sci-fi, to kind of portray or promote more gender equality.
Yes, there are opportunities there.
Yep.
For sure.
And there's an opportunity to portray gender equality in one of two ways. You can have everyone equal and portrayed respectfully, or you could equally objectify both sexes.
You said it way better than me. But the eyeballs don't lie.
There you go. All right. Now, the other part of what Joel was talking about was just how women are treated as gamers in the hobby.
Right. And I have heard people being treated negatively. But me personally, I don't know if it's because I'm from a small town or if I'm a little bit more selective about the gamers I game with.
Yeah.
That personally, I have never had something really horrible said or done to me while I'm playing games. No. I mean, if I meet someone and they're like, "Oh, you play games? I play games too," and they seem like a real
douche.
I was going to say dink bag, but I didn't know if I wanted to have that on my channel. But anyway, if they seem like a real what I just said, you know what? I'm probably not going to play with them.
Nope.
I'll probably just say, "Oh yeah,
And we are from a small town.
Yeah.
But this small town has
a lot of gamers.
An extensive network of gamers. There's several groups that kind of mix and mesh. And there's enough gamers that when you find someone who's a dink bag, you don't need to play games with them to play games. There's more than enough people to play games with.
It's true.
So, and that's a big thing was, anytime I've played games with anyone, if I can find a group of people that I can get along with, that's what's important.
It's true.
When people come and sit down at a table and get ready to play a game with me, I don't go, "Oh, that's a guy and that's a girl, so I'm going to have to take out one of them first because of their gender." No. I just see opponents.
Or treat them differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just see some opponents. And
but you know what? When you have a man at the table, I don't know, this might not be politically correct, or you might see me in a different light after my next statement, but whatever.
Oh my goodness.
If there's a man at the table, or a boy, or whatever, that's kind of a little bit on the arrogant side, not a dink bag or anything, but it is a whole lot funner when you win over those ones. It is a little, I mean, even if it was a girl or a boy.
Yes. And that's what I would say is anyone at a table who's acting a little bit arrogant, it's funner to beat them, regardless of gender.
But for me, being a shy, little, quiet, underestimated girl, yeah, and some guys like, "Oh, arrogant, you're just a little girl," and they kind of, they give you a couple of advantages, and you're like, "I don't think they know what they're doing. I'm gonna beat them," and you do, and it's fun.
I have a story about that.
You can say it.
Okay. When we first started dating. This was a long time ago.
22 years ago.
Yeah. I think you were in college, and we went to, there were still video arcades back then.
Oh, yeah,
and we went to the video arcade at lunch once, and I started playing Mortal Kombat.
Like the first one.
Probably like the first one or the second one.
Or whatever.
Anyway, and a bunch of guys from the college came over and started playing, and I kept winning, and then they just kind of like took off because I just kept beating them. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, do you want to play? And you're like, okay. So I took a step back and you started playing, and they rushed right back. It's like, oh, we can take her. And then like 5 minutes later, after you'd kicked all of their butts, they left in a huff.
That didn't bother me.
And it was awesome.
It didn't bother me. And being the shy, quiet girl, like, they could have talked whatever they wanted, and I still would just sat there, or stood there silently,
now,
kicking their buttocks.
That's actually interesting because they left in a huff, but none of them were rude, none of them called you names, none of them blew up or anything. They were like, oh, I can't believe she beat us, and then just left. It was kind of cool, though.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that's anything else you want to add?
I don't know. I like to tell that story about just recently we went to a game store, not in our town.
No.
In our province.
Yeah.
And that was kind of funny because the guy that was there, like overseeing the store, kind of had this weird attitude.
Yeah.
About game reviewers, actually.
Yeah.
And we started talking about that. He obviously did not know that we had our own channel or anything.
No. We
didn't bring it up because we thought, I don't think we really want him to watch our videos anyway.
Yeah.
With his attitude.
Yeah.
And after that whole conversation, started in on, and he was talking about girls reviewing board games. And I think the comment was something along the lines of,
I don't care about the color pink of components. That does nothing to do with the mechanisms. Don't tell me about that. Review the game.
And if you've seen our intro very first video, you know I'm pretty passionate about pink. And I just let him know that pink is a legitimate game color. Yes, it has nothing to do with whether the game is good or bad. Like, I can't say, oh yes, this game has pink in it, so it's the best game in the whole wide world. No, I'm not like that. But if a good game has pink in it, you're going to get brownie points from me. But let me tell you, I told that guy, and I stood up for my pink components. And Justin was very proud of me.
Yeah, this guy was a pretty big, burly guy. He stepped back. He was like, whoa.
Way taller than me. And Justin stepped back, and I stepped forward, and I let him know.
Yeah.
That pink is legitimate.
Yeah, it's your favorite color. I'd have the same comments if we were talking about green, because green's my favorite player color.
Right.
Yeah.
But
it was funny, though.
His point was that girls judge games based on aesthetics only.
Yes.
And my point was, yeah, we might judge some of the game on aesthetics, but girls know what they're talking about when they're talking about games.
Yeah.
Hi, Jinx.
Hey, Jinx.
Anyway.
So, that's...
I get pretty passionate about it.
That's our 2 cents on the subject.
I have 2 cents. It was probably more like a nickel, but...
That's right.
Yeah.
It was a good subject. It was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks. We'll see you next time.
Later. Thank you.